daughter, Lily, and I were kicked out during Christmas dinner. "You should leave and never come back," my sister said. "Christmas is so much better without you," Mom added. I didn't beg. I just said calmly, "Then you won't mind if I do this." 5 minutes later, they were begging me to undo it. Technically, I hadn't even finished my plate. Gravy still clung to the edges, and my fork hovered midair, unsure of its purpose. Lily had taken only 2 polite bites of her roll and was quietly counting the peas on her plate, a little ritual she developed whenever tension filled a room. Across from us, my sister Charlotte smiled with that rehearsed, "I'm being reasonable" expression. Her eyes screamed, though, "I'm about to make your life miserable and call it boundaries." Charlotte's husband, Dylan, sat beside her, nodding along like a human screensaver. He'd always felt too comfortable in our family home, acting like the guest room had his name embroidered on the pillow. Dylan was the type of man who could watch a building burn and casually ask where the marshmallows were. Mom dabbed her mouth delicately with her napkin, as though we were attending a classy holiday dinner instead of watching a family meltdown in slow motion. Dad stared at his mashed potatoes with the intensity of someone negotiating them into a different life. The evening had been tense from the start. Small comments, subtle jabs. "Oh, Megan, you look tired," Mom had said as soon as I arrived, like fatigue was a moral failure. Charlotte glanced at Lily's dress and said, "Cute, very simple," as if a 7-year-old should dress like she was headed to a gala. Dylan asked with a straight face, "So, are you still in that phase where things are tight?" I smiled politely, as I always do. Swallow, nod, pretend, because it was Christmas, because Lily was watching, because I promised myself this year would be different. Somewhere between the green beans and Charlotte's third passive-aggressive compliment about her own centerpiece, I knew the pretense was over. I set down my fork like it was a gavel. "We need to talk," I said. My stomach sank, not because I didn't expect it, but because I knew exactly what kind of talk was coming, the talk where my feelings would be labeled dramatic. Charlotte leaned back in her chair. It's been a lot, and Mom and Dad agree." Dad didn't look up. Mom didn't protest. Dylan chewed slowly, as though he'd been waiting for this course all along. I asked evenly, "What are you doing?" She tilted her head. "We've all decided you should leave and never return." There it was, clean, rehearsed, like a line memorized for a camera. Lily looked up from her peas. Mom jumped in quickly, unable to let Charlotte dominate for more than a second. "Christmas is so much better without you." I blinked once, twice. I looked at Dad, who finally lifted his eyes. For a brief second, I thought he might say something, anything, a small protest. But he didn't. Silent, complicit. Lily's little hand tightened around her fork. Something inside me cracked quietly, like a plate slipping off a counter in another room. I had 2 choices. Beg, explain, go through the humiliating routine of proving I deserve to exist in my own family, or I could stop auditioning. I said gently to Lily, "Honey, can you grab your coat and backpack? We're leaving." She slid out of her chair like she'd been waiting for permission. "Okay," she said. No argument, no tears, just relief in a child's voice. The moment she disappeared down the hallway, the room shifted. Charlotte crossed her arms. "Good, that's settled." Dylan gave a small sigh, as though we'd just resolved a scheduling conflict. Mom's mouth tightened. "Megan, don't make this harder than it has to be." I stared at all of them. My face did something unexpected. It smiled. Not a warm, friendly smile, the kind of smile you make when you realize you've been trying to win a rigged game. I stood, slowly pushing back my chair. "Then you won't mind if I do this." They all watched, expecting a tantrum, tears, or drama. Instead, I walked into the kitchen, stopping at the cupboard. Inside, tucked behind holiday platters, were 3 pieces of paper. Each had a name in thick black marker. Mom, Dad, Charlotte. Charlotte raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" Dylan scoffed. "Cards." Mom laughed nervously. "Megan, this is ridiculous." I met her eyes. Is it? Dad finally spoke flatly. If you're trying to guilt us— No, I said, still smiling. This isn't guilt. This is consequences. Charlotte stood exasperated. You think we need your gifts? I tore the first, Mom, then Dad, finally Charlotte. 3 neat piles of paper on the counter. Connor barked a forced laugh. Charlotte's smugness cracked. I turned to Lily, already in her coat, tiny backpack on her shoulder. We're going, I said, taking her hand. Cold air hit our faces as we left. I glanced back. Through the window, I saw them staring at the counter, curious, confused, panicked. Mom's mouth opened wide like a silent scream. The door flew open behind me. Megan, wait, come back, Charlotte shouted, barefoot on the cold pavement. Mom clutched her coat. Dad moved faster than I'd ever seen. I didn't stop the car. I didn't roll down the window. Lily sat beside me, silent, her face pale. I drove away.
They didn't understand what they'd just watched. Not yet. To them, it looked like paper. Cheap. Useless. They thought it was drama, a bluff, one last attempt to feel important. Charlotte laughed first. Not loud. Sharp. The kind of laugh people use when they're trying to stay in control. You tore up some papers, she said. Congratulations. Dylan shook his head, amused. You always did love theatrics, Megan. Mom pressed her lips together. You really embarrassed yourself tonight. Dad didn't say anything. He rarely did. Silence was his favorite way of pretending he wasn't involved. I buckled Lily into her seat. My hands were steady. That surprised me. She stared straight ahead, didn't ask questions, didn't cry. Kids know when something is final. I pulled out of the driveway slowly. Christmas lights blurred into long streaks of red and gold. Behind us, the house stayed bright, warm, loud, a place that had decided it didn't need us anymore. I didn't look back again. They didn't call that night, or the next morning. Christmas passed quietly. No messages, no apologies. I expected relief. Instead, I felt empty. Not sad, not angry, just done. 3 days later, my phone rang. Dad. I let it ring. Then again. On the 3rd call, I answered. What? I said. No greeting, no softness. He cleared his throat. You embarrassed your mother. I almost laughed. You told me to leave, I said, in front of my child. That's not the point, he replied. There it was, the family motto. Charlotte grabbed the phone in the background. I could hear her voice before she even spoke. You think tearing up papers makes you powerful? She snapped. You don't have anything we need. I stayed quiet. That made her angrier. Say something, she demanded. So I did. Did you read them? I asked. A pause. What? Mom said. The papers, I repeated calmly. Did you read them before I tore them up? Dylan scoffed. Why would we? You were being dramatic. I smiled to myself. Then let me explain, I said. Another pause. This one heavier. For the last 6 years, I continued, I've been covering things you thought magically worked out. Silence. Mortgage gaps, medical bills, credit cards that never quite maxed out. Mom inhaled sharply. What are you talking about? I asked. You didn't think Dad's consulting checks came out of nowhere, did you? Dad said my name, quietly now. I didn't stop. The property taxes you forgot about? That was me. The loan Charlotte took out for her kitchen remodel? That was me too. Charlotte laughed nervously. This is insane. Check your bank records, I said. Look for deposits from an LLC you never questioned. Another silence, longer. Dylan's voice dropped. Megan, wait. I finally let some steel through. You told me Christmas was better without me, I said, so I made sure you understood what without me actually looks like. Mom's voice cracked. You can't just stop. I already did, I replied. Dad whispered. We depended on that. I closed my eyes. That, I said, was your mistake. Charlotte started crying, real tears this time. You did this on purpose, she said. No, I corrected her. I did this quietly for years. She tried a different angle. You owe us. I laughed out loud. I don't owe you anything, I said, and that's the first thing I've been honest about in a long time. That night, I blocked Charlotte, muted Dylan, left Mom and Dad unblocked for now. Not because I hoped, but because I wanted them to sit with it. Lily asked me later, "Are we in trouble?" I knelt in front of her. "No," I said, "we're free." She nodded like that made sense, because somehow it did. 2 weeks passed, then the email started. Carefully worded, polite, panicked. They wanted meetings, explanations, solutions. I didn't reply, because for the first time, they were the ones waiting, and I had already moved on.
They didn't stop reaching out. They just changed tactics. First, it was concern, then confusion, then guilt. Mom emailed me at 6:12 a.m. The subject line said, "Please." No punctuation, just desperation. She wrote about stress, about misunderstandings, about how families say things they don't mean during the holidays. She never mentioned Lily. Dad sent a separate message an hour later, shorter, colder. "We need to talk like adults," as if adulthood had ever protected me in that house. Charlotte waited 3 more days. Then she sent a text. "I didn't realize how much you were helping. You could have just said something." I stared at that sentence for a long time. You could have just said something, as if I hadn't spent my entire life saying things quietly, carefully, politely, as if silence hadn't been required of me. Dylan tried calling next, straight to voicemail. He left a message anyway. "Hey, Megan, look, emotions were high. Let's not blow this out of proportion." Out of proportion. I deleted it. The truth is, the money wasn't the thing that broke them. It was the realization that I had power and had chosen not to use it. That scared them more than losing it. A week later, Mom showed up at my door alone. No cake this time. No performance. Just her coat pulled tight and dark circles under her eyes. I didn't invite her in. We stood on the porch. "It's cold," she said. "So was Christmas," I replied. She flinched. "I didn't think you'd really leave," she admitted. I felt something settle in my chest. "That's the problem," I said. "You never think I will." She looked past me, toward the hallway. "Is Lily home?" "She's safe," I answered. "That's what matters." Mom's voice trembled. "She's my granddaughter." I nodded. "And you told her she didn't belong." She shook her head quickly. "I didn't mean it like that." "You said it," I said, in front of her. Silence. Finally, she whispered. Charlotte was upset. There it was. Always the same explanation. Always the same priority. "I need you to understand something," I said calmly. "I'm not punishing you." Her eyes filled. "It feels like it." "No," I said. "This is protection." She reached for my arm. I stepped back. "I spent years teaching Lily to be quiet so you'd like her," I continued. "I won't do that anymore." Mom's face crumpled. "I raised you better than this." I looked her straight in the eye. "No," I said. "You raised me to endure." She left without another word. Didn't hug me. Didn't apologize. Just walked down the steps like someone who finally understood. They'd lost access. That night, Lily asked me why Grandma looked sad. "Because she made a bad choice," I said. "Will she fix it?" Lily asked. I thought about that. "Some people don't know how," I replied. Lily nodded slowly. "Okay." Then she went back to her coloring. Children accept the truth faster than adults. Weeks passed. Then months. The house got quieter. Not lonely, peaceful. I started sleeping through the night. Lily laughed louder, took up space. She stopped apologizing for asking questions. One afternoon, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, from Dad. He didn't ask for money. That was new.
He wrote that he hadn't protected me, that he'd chosen peace over fairness, that he saw it now. No excuses, no pressure, just acknowledgement. I didn't reply, not because I was angry, but because healing doesn't require reconciliation. Some losses are permanent, not because they couldn't be fixed, but because fixing them would require people to change. And not everyone is willing to do that. Lily climbed into bed beside me one night and said, "I like our house." "Me too," I said. "It feels calm," she added. I smiled into the dark. That was the goal all along. This wasn't revenge. It wasn't cruelty. It was the moment I stopped teaching my daughter that love hurts. If you're waiting for the part where they apologize perfectly and everything goes back to normal, this isn't that story. This is the one where a cycle ends.
8 months passed, long enough for anger to cool, long enough for grief to change shape, long enough for the noise to finally stop. The settlement finalized quietly, $2 million. I didn't tell anyone, not friends, not extended family. Money changes how people look at you. I didn't want new masks replacing the old ones. The first thing I did wasn't anything dramatic. I paid off a small house. Nothing fancy, just solid walls, a safe neighborhood, and a backyard where Lily could play without being told to stay quiet. I watched her run barefoot across the grass, like she wasn't afraid of taking up space. That alone felt worth everything. Most of the money went where it should have gone all along: long-term savings, conservative investments, a trust in Lily's name. College wouldn't be a question mark. Emergencies wouldn't be negotiations. Her future wouldn't depend on anyone's mood. That mattered more than revenge ever could. I thought about my parents sometimes, about how close they were. $500,000, enough to erase their debt, enough to soften their future, enough that they'd never have to panic again. They didn't get it, not because I was cruel, but because teaching my daughter that abuse still gets rewarded would have cost more than money. Through distant relatives, I heard what happened. My parents sold the house, retirement plans collapsed, tension filled every room Charlotte walked into. They replayed Christmas like a bad recording, over and over. Not the words, not the cruelty, the almost. That haunted them. I expected guilt to follow me. It didn't. What followed was peace, the kind you feel when your nervous system finally believes the danger is gone. Lily stopped asking why people didn't like her. She stopped shrinking. She laughed louder, asked questions without apologizing, slept through the night. One evening, she said, "Mom, our house feels safe." I had to turn away so she wouldn't see my face. I still miss the family I wished I had. That doesn't disappear. But I don't miss the version of myself who kept offering love to people who treated it like leverage. Sometimes people ask if I regret it, if I wish I handled it differently. I think about my daughter sitting at that Christmas table, counting peas, learning how to disappear, and then I look at who she is now, and the answer is easy. This wasn't about money. It was about permission. Permission to leave, permission to protect, permission to stop explaining. If you're waiting for the moment where they change and everything goes back to normal, this story doesn't have that ending. It has a better one, a quiet one, where a cycle stops because someone finally chose their child over approval.